Deathscyp here from YCG, your casual gamer. This episode is going to be for followers only, as we're continuing from the cliffhanger episode 3 from the beginning of this season. Now that we have our elevator scene all done, we are going to be continuing with the transition to the next level. And this is what it's going to look like when we're done. There you have it. Now we're going to be able to have the elevator follow us to the next level with a loading screen. Stay tuned. Alright, first thing I'd like to address is thank you very much for the support, everybody. I have now 500 subscribers. Very happy that I get to help people, as many people as this, and I hope I can still help as many as I can over the years to come. I've learned everything on YouTube and own research and trial and error, and I'm very happy I can give back to the community, and I hope it helps people. And don't be shy to leave me a comment when you don't understand something or you want to see something, and if I do have time, I'll do my best to make a video on it. Right now my main focus is to make my own video game. I have my own company that I started in last October, and we are starting to have a good prototype. We're a team of 3, including myself. And if you want, actually in this episode, I'm going to give you guys a link in the description where you can go check out our website that is still under construction, and also go like us on Facebook so that you can help out supporting our cause on the game we're creating. That being said, for the 500 subscriber, I decided to give you guys a little video where we build stuff together. So if you guys have been following since the beginning, then you know what we're going to be doing now. But not only that, I didn't rehearse to do that. That way you guys get to see a little bit how my workflow goes when I make something. So I think it'd be a little bit different so that you guys get to see a little bit my trial and error when I make my stuff. So first thing I did in the scene is that I took these over here and I converted everything to sequencer. Since Matinee is no longer with us, is I did a conversion. You can, if you want, grab your Matinee and convert it, but it was so quick to make it with the sequencer. Since when I was training to make the 2 episodes the last 2 weeks, I've did this in 2 seconds. And if you don't know, you can check with the intro. You can check on top of here. I'll have a little card that links you to the video tutorial on the matter for sequencer, the basics. So basically what I did is I just took this and this. I made a track for movement for 5 seconds, and then it just plays down, brings me down to the elevator over here. And when you reach over here, the other ones goes right away. So I have it in my level. If I go in the factory -2, I have all this that we created together, and where it was supposed to play a Matinee, I just switched it to the sequencer and just play it. It's the same thing. So I replaced this one over here to play the elevator. This one is for the lift. This one is to call the elevator, the end lift. Oh, that's why I get messed up, because I called them both lifts. This over here should be end elevator. All right, so we're already ready to move up from there. So I did the same for the elevator. You can check over here again, because you can grab a blueprint and right click and add a track to it. It's so user friendly using the sequencer. I really enjoy using it. So if you haven't done this and you had Matinees and they work, you don't need to redo it. If you want to redo it, it's up to you, as long as the scene works for you. Now that we have this, so first thing, we're going to be transitioning to another stage. So to be able to transition, the first thing you're going to have to do is the elevator doesn't really follow. You have to recreate it and create the illusion that it is following us. So right now, if I go inside the master 2 over here, you're going to notice that the elevator does not exist. It's just a clean wall and there's nothing here. So first thing we're going to add is we're going to add a prop, which is this over here. We're going to add this right there. And I'm going to scale it so that it fits in the room. I'll speed that process for you guys. There we go. Now we have this. I could still play with this, but right now it's just if I'm being picky or whatnot, it's just for show. All right, so I got the window. I got the door here. Let's just make it a little bit bigger, like that. Nice. See now, see that's one thing when you grab an asset, or if you ever make your own asset, make sure to put the pivot point at a right place, like bottom right. Right? In a corner, it's always better than in the middle. In the middle, it's so bad you can never scale it well. Of course, it works well on like tables and stuff. That has to be there. You don't have to set them up to corners. But for a door, I think I would have put it somewhere else. The pivot point. All right, so now I can go and grab the elevator. You already have this if you've been following. And then same thing. We're just going to place it. So now we're going to place it right over here so that we can make sure that we have the right length. So right like this. Perfect. And then I think that's it. Is that it? Okay, it's just so we can be in line with the floor. Now this is all stuff you're going to be doing too. If you need, sometimes you can go on the lit view. You're going to be able to be seeing the floor better. And there we have it. Perfect. So now it's pretty much what I wanted. So now you're just going to have to reverse the process. So right over here, instead of going down from up, you're going to have the elevator that starts at the top over here. Your player, when he's down there, he's never really going to see that. And I already know that it was on 5 seconds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a sequence again. So we're going to go in cinematic, add level sequence, go to lifts. Here we're going to do lift. No, we're going to call it elevator intro. Yeah, intro. Well, I'm not sure. As long as you understand what you mean, and I always keep this close to the elevator. That way I know it's linked to the elevator. And perfect. Now that I have this, I'm going to select the elevator and make sure you're on the persistent level for that one. Since right now we're working with streaming volumes. So mind you, it's a little bit different all the time when you use this. We're going to go get our player start and let's go. Oh, no. Make sure to take out this so that there's no key for what you're doing right now. That's one thing I forgot to mention with my sequencer video. If you're on auto key and you start moving stuff, it will create a key because you're on auto key inside your sequencer. And you might not want that. You might not want that. There we go, like this. So roughly where you want it to be. It doesn't have to be perfect because there's going to be a fade in. So there you go. So now I'm going to have a track for the elevator and the door over here, just like we had in the other place. And to show you how easy it is with sequencer, here we go. I have current, like this. Now you have the elevator, you're going to do a transform track. And just to make the first key, we're going to do a key right over here. So transform 1 and transform 1 over here. Now, I found out also over here you can do on seconds. I find it's better depending on what you're doing. And for what we're doing now, I think it'd be better this way. Now, I just want to see the time. With one screen, it's not always easy to make everything fit. So let's just try to move this about. There we go. So the door, the metal fence door over here is going to happen starting at 5. So the elevator is already down. And from here, you're going to have the elevator movement. So I'm going to go back on auto key. And let's put the snapping back on. Is that it? Auto key. Okay. So from there, let's do... Am I on the auto key? Oh, sorry. That's auto key. All right. Auto key over here, and then we're going to get the elevator first. And we're already at 5, so we're just going to bring it down. like that. If you hold shift too, you can move with the elevator. And then if you're sure, just about right here, maybe a little bit more. First I was just trying to fit with the door, now I'm actually fitting with the, I can't even move it. Again, this won't, you won't really notice this in game, even if you moved a little bit on the rest. And save this. Now we're going to do the door opens. I'm going to go get this. And have this at right over here. Oh yeah, that's why I removed the snapping. So I can move between. Sometimes that's the thing with the snapping, it's going to snap at the seconds. So if you're with frames, then it's going to be more precise. You're going to be able to snap between. But with seconds, it's easier for me to calculate where I am in my timeline. Like this. And then I'm just going to open it from right to left. Like this. There you go. Save everything. Now if I just go ahead and I could have this play right away at the beginning of the sequence. So I could just open this over here and have this right over here at the event begin play, and do a right click. No, that's not the right one. I have to have the sequencer selected. Where is it? That's I lost it already. Then I go in the level, right click, create intro, perfect, play sequencer, this, and have it like this. Perfect. Compile and save, and we're done with this. Now let's see if it works. I press play. I'm inside the elevator brings you down. It gets down, and then you can see right away something's missing. The door for the elevator doesn't come up, because that's all programmed that we did in the last scene. So as soon as this is done, so after the 5 seconds mark, so I should have a delay of 5 seconds right over here. It's really the same thing, delay. That's why I wanted to do it with you guys over here. Maybe eventually one day I could do like a live stream with you guys, and if you guys have special requests, we could make them at the same time. That would be fun. Maybe one day. We'll see. So after 5 seconds, I'm gonna go get first off, we're gonna add the sound for the elevator right over here. So elevator, where did I put that? Is that in season 2? Sorry. No. Elevator. Elevator arriving. So I think that's why I was on. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna have this. I'm gonna put it here. Whoops. I forgot that when you add the sound, I'm gonna put it right over here. Let's see how this works. If I put this right there, press play. Alright, so right now you can see that it's not really timed. So we'll see if I can maybe make this. Can start. Maybe we could add a note. Can we? I'm going to put it a bit further. We can calculate the fade to match this. If I do this like that, or I could even make the elevator go faster. Let's just go and time it over here. Yeah, not bad. Alright, save this. I think I even add a jigger. So for the when it reaches down, you can go over here and just have this like move a little bit. So I could have it right there. So that way it's more time. Oh, I'm not playing with the right one. So I could have it right over here and bring it down so that it. And when it reaches here, I could even make the elevator move a little bit again. So I could make it like make a little bit like this, and then a little bit like this. And what this is gonna do is, if I'm inside, you're gonna go play. It's gonna, you see what it did? It's gonna match the sound. Made a little like a little jigger effect. So now this happened. Now this door over here is supposed to open, so I'm going to go back inside. So I have my elevator selected. Right click over here, create a reference to the elevator, open door, door, what do I call it? I'm telling you guys, I'm doing this at the same time as you guys. No rehearsal, so I don't know how I called it. Open door. That's what I did. Elevator, open. Doesn't want to find it. I think I'm not in the right level. What is happening? Is it because I'm in a sequencer? I got the elevator here. I'll open the blueprint. I have the open door. So what the frick is happening? File save. Okay, I'm gonna come back to you guys because I think this is a bug. Alright, yeah, I was right. That was a bug. This happens sometimes, so it's good that I can show you guys this. Sometimes the custom events, for reasons I ignore, I don't know why, the custom events, the functions, they don't get recognized. And I was there, I was trying to get the open door event to fire, but it wouldn't see it. And the best way to fix this is to restart your engine, just like I did. So I just took a pause for this because you guys don't have to see me restarting my engine. It makes no sense to do that. And there you go. Now it works. So now if I go down, I can even add this over here. I can have a sound for this. I think I have it over here. I'm going to put it inside the sequencer elevator intro. Eventually, the sequence, I would recommend having them separated in separate folders with the stage name according to them. But that is up to you guys if you guys want to have this clean or not. Door open. Here's the door opened. I can have this right over here and bring it right there. And let's see if this works. So yeah, that's gonna be it. We have this like that. And maybe I could put this with this over here. And go like this, press play. And there you go. Now the elevator didn't open because that's going to be in blueprint. So now let's see if this works. I press play. Get the elevator coming down. And it shakes. And the door opened. It made a weird sound. Is that the right one? Anyways, I guess that's the one. Alright, so this being done, now I have to leave the elevator. So my player is right there, so I have to make him move forward and have the door closed so that you cannot get inside anymore. Right now I could just restore the controls for the player. So first thing here is I'd like to disable input for the controls of the character. So from here I'm going to do a disable input just to make sure I don't break off my program over here. And then I'm going to need the get player controller like that. Compile, save. And now that's done, is as soon as this is done, the door opens. I'm going to wait a second, delay, let the door open. I think it takes a second, I'm not sure. Let's see over here with this Control B to go get the blueprint, open it, and yes, it takes 1 second. So after 1 second, I want my player to start moving forward. So how to do that is I'm going to grab the character that I have over here, get the capsule component, and move. You can do move component too. You could have the player move with a tick event, but for what I'm doing right now, that would be the easiest. Since I don't have a character to move, an actual character, like a physical character, it's easier to do this like that. I'm gonna make him move in a forward axis. So let's see, what do you have? You have on the Y axis, wait, let me just check with the player. No, X. X positive, because you see the arrow following this way, so that's X positive. And now I can just try it here. To leave the elevator, it would be about 600 plus, it'd be about 200. Just try 200, 250. So from the target relative location, relative being 0, 0, 0. Normally that's what it is. If I go and check on the character, if I check on the viewport and I check the capsule, you're going to see it doesn't show it for this one, but if you check the mesh, the relative location is what you see over here. It's not its location on the world location. Keep that in mind. So now from here, we're going to say, we said on the Y, on the x-axis, we're going to go 250. And then we just have to make sure that the rotation is the same. What's the rotation over here? Rotation is fine. So let's try this out. Go inside. Maybe over 2 seconds. I don't think I'd be running out. And let's test it. I go, I press play. Move down. I open, and you can see that my character is just moving really out of sync. So what's going on here? Always trial and error. I don't know if that's the right way. I've tried many different things over the axis over the years, so maybe that's not good. I think I still have to go check some nodes. I don't know why it was moving backward and not forward when I saw that this was forward. I have a location over here. See, it went back like this. So, okay, so maybe I need to do the world location. So let's do that. Get world location. Then plus vector by vector, and I said 250 over here. So let's try this. Maybe that's what it is. Looks like since I couldn't see the relative location of the capsule, maybe it works differently. And there you have it. Now I moved out, but now I didn't re-enable the movements, so I'm stuck there. I would have to just go grab this, bring it here, close this, grab another character, just to keep it clean. Control drag this over here, and this like that. And this should be good. And you can see that 2 seconds was pretty long, and this delay over here was long too. So let's just put it to 0.4. Just to put it more clean. And also what I'm going to do is I noticed that the character is not really in line with the door. So let's I close this. So what's going on over here? Did I close sequencer? I'm in 4-17, so you can see that the sequencer was not top-notch yet. They were still fixing up stuff, and now you see that since I didn't restart the timeline over here, it doesn't know where I am. Now if I close, see, it keeps bringing it down. I don't know why. These bugs. Press play. Is it because I moved it here? Now, I didn't have these problems when I was on 4-23, showing you guys how to use it. Seems like over here it works a little bit like Matinee, where it remembers the place it was before I was in sequencer. So I'm just going to bring it back up. I'm not sure where that was. I have a pretty good idea since the character was in there. So put there, even more higher. It doesn't have to be perfect, since you can see that it gets overwritten right away when sequencer plays. And that's what I was talking about. You see, the character is not really centered with the doors. I'm just going to put it centered like this. Save, and good. Now if I press play, character's in line. I get down, I get forward, and controls. What do I do? Enable? Enable would help. Let's try this again. Alright, let's go back, play. And there you go. Now I'm out. And as soon as I'm out, ooh, what do we see? The sequencer restarts everything. Yay! Just like always. Like always, another thing I forgot to do inside sequencer, that nice little thing I told you to do every time you make a new sequence, you gotta restore this to keep state. Same thing over here. You can see that I am not perfect at all, and I make these mistakes all the time, even though I even made a video about it. I still forget. Now you would want to have the door closed behind you, so as soon as you're done doing this over here, you want to have that door, which is this one over here. I'm just pushing everything to the side all the time. Over here I have some other mats that I didn't show you guys yet, and it's not worth my time showing you right now. So close door, because it's not relevant to what we're doing. So there we go. I think this should be it. So let's go ahead and see what this does. Press play. Got the elevator going down. Door opens. Character goes through. My controls are back, and I cannot move back because the door is still there. So there you have it. So now we have the scene ready to take the character back when you're inside there. Now we need to add the fade in. So the best trick I do over here is, now we're going to need to make the transition. So the transition would already work if I go and do it. And we can get rid of this right away since the other side is already ready for it. So I'm going to go in the map, Deathscyp Factory, over here. And right over here, the program already was all set. If I go inside the level blueprint, you would finish on the fade out. So all that we had to do is do the transition. And to make the transition, it's very simple. You're going to see, I'm going to do over here, I'm going to do delay. I'm going to put it for 1 second, or I think that's the time it takes for the fade to happen. Let's put it to 1.5. And then all you have to do is open level. So that's when you do the main transition between levels. Now you have, this is case sensitive, so you have to make sure you have the right level selected. So for me, it's master, this one. F2, Control C, come back over here, get rid of the none over here, and Control V. And if this works, then you should be fine. So I'm going to try it out. So this should send me to the next level, and the scene is already ready to fire up on the other side. So let's go ahead and see if it works. I get here. Elevator comes. Oh, that's the old school. Brings me down. And you can see that the sound just cut very clean, and now it's loading my other scene. Now it worked. Now you can see right away that it's not perfect. I mean, you can see that it's not, I think I just realized what was wrong with my elevator door. I don't need this one over here because I already have one playing. So I'm going to try this like that. So you can see that the transition is not very smooth. And you can wonder, where does it go wrong? Well, I'll show you right away. Is that when you go inside your Stage 2 Master, what happens when you open a level is that it's actually trying to load everything you see over here. And that can take times. Maybe you have enemies, traps, I don't know, special effects that are being loaded and everything. And this is why most games have loading screens. And I'm going to make an episode on the matter for the loading screen focused on it. But let's make a basic one together now, since we're just making the workflow together. And like I said, it's a special episode for you guys. So if I close sequencer, I'm done with sequencer right now. So now I have to make the transition feel smooth. And the best way for this is, you would ask yourself, if I don't want to have to load everything one shot, so that it doesn't show on screen, what's the best way to do it? The best way is to have another, well, that's my favorite way to do it. I don't know if there's a better way out there, but my favorite way is to actually have another level, and we're going to call it loading screen. So literally, this is going to be called, this is only going to be there for loading. And you're going to see over here, I'm going to bring this inside the level. And instead of having inside the summon level details, before I used to have the first level initially loaded. And I don't even know if I had the second one too. So all of this was trying to be loaded at first. But now I'm going to have nothing. I'm just going to have the loading screen initially loaded. Press play. Now, well, if I press play right now, it's not going to work. But you're going to see that if I take out everything, you can see that there's a lot less things to load. And for your programs, for your player, it's going to be a lot more fun because they're going to see a smooth transition between the levels. And that's the main practice behind it. Now, if I bring it back, save everything. So now in my loading screen, everything that I'm going to have in there is simple enough. I'm going to have a loading screen. So I'm going to add, we're going to make a new interface, widget blueprint, call it loading, S for screen. Save everything, jump inside, and in here, we're not going to put that much stuff because it's very simple to make a loading screen. All you're going to need is a border, like so, bring it in, scale it a ridiculous amount across the screen, just to make sure it takes the whole screen. Anchor it to the middle, make it 100% black. No, make it here, black. Brush color, black. And then we're going to add a text that says loading. Now, we can do a text. There's probably a better way to do this, but I'm really making it as fast as I can. Just to show you guys that it's possible. Like I said, I'm going to have an episode on the matter afterward. So now I want the text to be in front of this, just to make sure I can select it. Oh, yeah, that way it's fine. Bring it to the center. Again, it just has to be roughly in the center. It doesn't have to be perfect. Scale it the way you want. Just put the nice loading. Then we're going to center the alignment of the text. Where is that? Oh, you see? Oh, there, right there. No, center, and I guess that's it. We'll go like this. There you go. And I'll put it a bit bigger, maybe 45. See, now I have to go again. There you go. Now that you have this, all that's left is there's a nice little thing inside Unreal called a Throbber. And if you bring this inside the scene, you're going to notice that it's this self animation to itself. And you might have already seen this somewhere inside Unreal. Whenever something is happening, you're going to see the Throbber, like when you're doing an autosave. You're going to see that little Throbber, exact same Throbber right there. And like I said, on the episode Focus on the Matter, I'm going to talk a little bit more about it. But right now, just to keep it short, you have yourself a loading screen right here. You could have an animation that smooths it, that transitions smoothly inside it. Like you can have this and add an animation, fade in. You could have this over here, and for the first track, and just to make sure, for this you can put it to 0, and you can have this, I think this works the same way. Yeah, you have the tint over here, put it to, oh no, you can't have a, let's go with visibility, because you cannot add a track. I always keep an eye on these. If you cannot add this, then it won't work. I don't know if you understand what I mean. If we go and I check on the text, you can see that there's a little node over here, a little node on the side, and it's everywhere next to the color. But if I go on the Throbber, it's not there. There's workarounds, but it's not there. So I'm just going to go with visibility. So I'm going to put it to hidden at first. So at first, it's hidden like this and loading. So now I can just have a nice little animation over here, get the loading, make a track for the opacity over here at 1.5 put it to 1 and then add another one like this. Now you know that it's gonna appear nice and smooth like so. And right here, I don't know why it resets the current value. It always does that. Back to this, and now you want to have again at 0 you want to have a key saying it's hidden, and at 1 you want to have a key that says it's visible, and have it like this. And now if I just go like this, if I press play, you're going to see that the loading appears and the little throbbing after. I could even have it maybe sooner, just so it starts the animation. If I go like this, and there you go. On screen is going to look better anyways. You have your basic loading screen over here. So now we have this. If I go back out, you're going to see that this went back to visible, put it to hidden, and you're done with your basic loading screen. So now we're going to add it to the screen over here. So right when event began play starts, you know what? We're even going to put it dismiss. So all of this could happen inside your main level. It could happen in the persistence level, and many people do it. I prefer to have a loading screen where you can decide everything you want to load and have your loading screen right there. I find it's more clean that way, but that's just the way I prefer to play it. So right here, we're going to do an event, create widget, and call it loading screen. When I'm going to make the episode on the loading screen, I'm going to make sure that I'm really more accurate on each point. Here, add to viewport. Go. And I think that's good. So that's over here. You could have this on the screen, and while this is there, then you start loading your scene. So I can start loading my stage. And to call the event, that's where it gets different with a loading screen. Instead of using the I was using the persistence level. How silly of me. So you can see right here why it wouldn't work. Normally you would have all your events. All this over here should be in my other scene. But right now, like I said, it's not the most optimal practice. I didn't practice this before I did it. I just wanted to show you guys the workflow behind it. But what we have over here is this would work, but because I put everything in the level blueprint, now I'm a bit stuck in having my loading screen right over here. So instead of having it here, so for the purpose of this tutorial, at least I gave you the knowledge so you can understand what I'm going to be working with when I'm going to make the episode on the loading screen. But for this episode right now, I'm going to put it inside the level blueprint. I'm going to create the widget over here since all my programming is there. Create widget. Have the loading screen, add to viewport like this. Compile, save. Then over here, while this is there, you're going to load streaming volume. Load streaming level, compile, save, and have your level load, which in my case is this one. No, it's this one. Stage 2-1, this one over here. So once this is loaded, I'm ready for my program to start. So let's test it out. I forgot one thing. I need to get rid of the loading screen eventually. So what I can do is have this one there. I can even have it inside my program right now. I could go in here and put a delay, a custom delay, and I have a fade out. So I can have an animation fade out. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do over here. I cannot believe this is still showing. It's on hidden. Okay. All right. I don't know why. Let's see what happens. So what I'm going to do is on event construct, I'm going to have the fade in happen. This is going to happen. Play animation. Like that. Have it for 3 seconds. I don't know. Delay. 2 seconds, like this. And then what I can do here is I can create widget. I can create another widget inside a widget. So I can decide the delay over here. So if I wanted to, it could be a custom variable that I decide what it's going to be. So if I know the stage is big, or it's a big scene I'm loading, I can add more time to the loading, just to make sure that everything loads. And then over here, when this is done, I'm going to do over here add the simple fade. Then for my simple fade, that's something we created together, and the cliffhanger again, which is right here. I made an event for the fade in only. I didn't make an event for the fade out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a branch. Man, we're going to do a lot of things today. In the designer, I'm going to make another animation, call it fade out. And I know I always reverse those two titles, because when you're actually doing a fade in, you're from dark to nothing, and fade out is the other way around. But I always get confused between the two, so I just do it that way. So for the fade in, I'm just going to do, actually, you know what, I can delete that. I'm going to duplicate this and call it fade out. And all I have to do over here is grab this over here and invert them. It's just like that. And then combine save. And all I have to do then, so now I have this, I'm going to make here a new variable, call it procedure. Have it on a byte motion, control drag it in, equal it to 0. If it's 0, it's going to be the normal fade in. That way you don't have to change any of your already created scene. And if it's false, that means if it's equal to anything else, it's going to do the fade out. Compile and save, you're done over here. So what I did over here is now I'm calling it to the screen. Since it's called the screen, I'm going to do a set procedure. Not again. Again, you see, that was the same thing that happened. I had to restart the engine again. I think the engine is not too happy with me today. Or is it something that's specific to 4-17? Which, if it's the case, it sucks. Add to Viewport. Perfect. So these two UMG, user and UMG, are self procedures to themselves. So right now I have a procedure over here. I don't need this and this. And sorry, I know it's a bit confusing. I'm going to change this to a variable just to show you guys what I mean. This could be whatever you want. So it could be delay before load. So if I wanted to have a custom event over here and I have a custom timer, I'm going to have it to 2 seconds for now, just so that you can see it works. And a simple fade is going to happen. And then from here, I'm going to do a remove from parent. This is going to remove the loading screen. And then let this happen. So let's see if this works. Save, go in, I go inside the simple fade. I go inside the program. This was in loading and persistent level. It's not loading. Okay. If I press play, let's see what it does. Okay. A lot of bad things, you understand, right? So, okay, what happened here? Okay, so I see. Right here, forgot to make it visible after load. I'm rushing stuff too much. This is fine. This happened really quick though. I think you notice also that the loading screen was not in the center of the screen. I don't know why. I think it's the text. I didn't anchor into the center again. I went too fast. Anchor this to the center. Compile and save. Let's try this again. F11, Alt P to press play. You have your loading and the simple fade here. So there you have it. And you can hear the sound like 25 times. So I think we're pretty much done. Let's test it out, see if it works. If I didn't forget anything, I go back inside. I know this one was a bit longer, but like I said, I wanted to do something a little bit special for the fact that we have 500 subscribers now. And I'm blind in my stage. Where am I? And now from there on, let's move on. Let's see. This here, I gotta fix that.
Destiny away.
I don't know if you guys saw it, but the elevator was already there. That's not supposed to happen. Music cuts still, but now the transition is smooth. I'm inside, and I'm in the next place. So there you have it. From there, it's just a little bit of cleaning up everything. I'm gonna go back to unlit. So I noticed over here that the elevator, for some reason, activates on its own. So I think there's an autoplay. No, I don't know why it's playing right away. Is it me that did that? It could have been me. It's not in there. It's in there. So right here, plays the lift sequence. Okay, waits for 5 seconds, then it plays the elevator. But for some reason, when I hit this, it plays right away. When I press play, it opens the elevator right away. Dun, dun, dun. I don't know what I did there. Save everything. So what is this? This one is the end lift. So press play. Let's press play over here. Okay, so it's the same thing. It's the same thing as before. Is when I created this damn thing, when I created it, no, this one, when I created this, I made it start down, but before I did that, I was playing around with this, and I just need to move this out of the way. There we go. When I'm not in sequencer. Like I said, 4-17, I'm ready to switch, so I gotta hurry up and finish that season so I can jump to a more recent engine, because it's really driving me nuts. So many bugs with with these older versions of engines, and everything works differently. Right now I'm making with the game I'm making now. I'm in 4-23, and I know that it's not recommended to change often. But since this is just tutorials, I mean, I don't mind switching and making copies all the time till I find a bug that destroys everything there. But we'll see when that happens. So hope you like this. Thank you again for all the subscribers, and I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. If there's something I forgot to do, let me know in the comments below. Like I said, again, I'm going to leave a link to my website for my company, and if you want to, also a link, and also there's going to be a link for my Facebook page, where you can go check the current development of the current devlog of the game we're making together. So have a good day, and